What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another 3D Hangouts. I'm Noe Ruiz, and joining me is Pedro Ruiz, my brother. What's up, man?
What's going on, everybody? I'm Pedro Ruiz, creative tech here at Adafruit, and every week we come to show 3D printing projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
Oh yeah, this is the show where we combine 3D printing and DIY electronics to make some cool projects to inspire you guys to do something similar. Awesome projects this week, Pedro.
Awesome, yeah.
Let's see what we have. Let's start the show with paying some bills.
Coupon code for this week is Kippah Pi. You get 10% off your order on 3D printing accessories, filaments, printers, and of course electronics to bring your projects to life.
Clear your throat there. Clear your throat.
Expires at 11:59 p.m. tonight. Does not work on software or gift certificates.
That's right. Only bits and atoms. Wait, no bits, just atoms. Sorry. Let's talk about the segments. Let's just run through them real quick. We're going to start the show off with what are you prototyping?
That's right. It's behind the scenes of some upcoming projects for future episodes.
Of course. And we'll have the layer by layer page. You have an awesome layer by layer.
Yeah, this week we're going to look at how to make curves to build a Link Highland shield.
Shield. Very cool. Then we'll jump out and into 3D news. A lot of cool projects from you folks out there.
Very nice, awesome projects from the community that we love sharing.
A good mix of projects.
A lot of these featuring actual components from Adafruit.
Of course. And then, of course, shop talk. We're going to sit here, powwow, talk about some printer problems, printer woes, and printer solutions at the end of the show.
That's right. There's always trials and tribulations involved in 3D printing.
Okay. Let's start the show off with, what are you prototyping? What are you prototyping this week? Well,
all right.
Last week we showed off a very cool project. It was a Pi laptop, kind of a tablet type thing. A couple of you folks were saying, hey, that's cool, why not use the Kippah? And when I showed it to Lamar last week, she said, hey, you should probably use the Kippah. So what is Kippah? I'm sure most of you know what a Kippah is. I did not, and now I didn't have a Kippah, so I had the HDMI backpack, but this is actually a lot better. So in this particular project, this is where you would definitely want to use this guy. This is Kippah. This lets you use any type of TFT display. Actually, just the TFT displays that we have in the shop that use the 40 FPC connector. So this is basically the same screen as the HDMI backpack, but it doesn't have the actual PCB with the HDMI decoder. So what this can do is it can basically do what HDMI does without all the extra cost and extra weight. So you get this really, really nice thing. Why is it called a Kippah, Pedro? It's not exactly a Pi hat.
Yeah, so there's no EEPROM on it, so it can't really be called a hat.
It takes up all the SPI ports, but take a look at that. You get access to some of the GPIO, so you actually have access to 5 different GPIO buttons, so you could make maybe a button or something to turn it off safely or to turn it on, different things like that. So this is the project. We made the enclosure. We made the enclosure fit the Kippah in there, and there's a Power Boost 1000C, so you can charge the battery right over there. Slide switch to turn it on and off. Access to all your ports here, and it's really the same sort of enclosure that we showed last week, but now optimized for the Kippah Pi. So it's still the same thickness, still that very interesting.
3/4 the quarter 20 for a tripod.
Yeah, that's a tripod. And it's pretty thin. It works really well, and I think it looks awesome with this keyboard from Kano, whatever. Kano, if the folks over there are listening, a lot of people are asking, where can I buy this separately? We don't carry it in the Adafruit shop yet, but you can get it from the Kano kit.
Yeah, supposedly some people were saying that it's on eBay somewhere. Well, send us the link. We'd love to check it out.
Oh, there's always a knockoff on eBay, huh?
No, but it's excellent, very clicky, nice big trackpad for gaming especially.
Oh man, it's the best for gaming. I've been playing so much on this thing that, well, I spelled emulation station wrong. Pedro?
Entertain the crowd, yeah.
Entertain the crowd.
Very cool little rechargeable keyboard. If we can, when you're done there, I'm going to show the back of it. Very nice, extremely well thought out.
Oh, that's
I really like
design.
The way that the design went.
More folks are excited about the damn keyboard than the actual project, but no, whatever.
Well, I was excited when we saw this.
Me too,
I jumped right on and ordered one.
Yeah, I know. Very cool that the clicky keys are over here, so you actually get the really cool sort of ergonomics to it. And I've been playing a lot of Quake 3 and Doom and Duke Nukem and all the ports really.
All of our classics when we were growing up.
Yeah.
This is one of the games we spent lots of hours playing.
This was really fun. So again, it's 800 by 480 is the resolution, and built-in speaker and amplifier in there. We're using the PAM 8302 and a mini metal speaker. Actually, no, we're not using the mini metal speaker. We're using a bigger speaker, the little plastic thin one
little
that's
green
green.
one. Yeah.
But it works so well here, guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. We are working. I'm going to start working on the guide for it now that the design is kind of finalized. So yeah, man, it runs just like HDMI. Instant refresh.
Look at the speed
all
of
the
this.
hardware acceleration, of course. And what am I doing here? I don't know.
Or backwards there. But yeah, check out the
I'm
frame
playing
rates
upside
on
down.
this.
Or something like that. Anyway, it's such an awesome, good gaming project, but I'm sure a lot of different applications will work well. If you wanted it as a printer monitor, you could totally do that. If you want it as an actual computer, definitely works. Google Docs seems to render okay on the browser. SoundCloud, of course, works, and a couple of Facebook and all your favorite social media should work well.
Should handle hardware acceleration a lot more better than the mini Pi libretto that we have in the background over there.
Yeah. Okay. So
very cool. You're still gonna actually change some of the design aspects in the back. You're gonna flip this over here.
Oh, that's
because
right.
the way that the
I think so.
the cables are sort of jumbled up right now in the back. They're not kinked, but you still want to take any chances in bending any of the cables.
Oh, yeah. And it seems to hold up pretty well. Everything's locked in place, and a couple different screws over here. I actually taken a little advice from you where I'm using smaller screws for the edges here for the counterbores, so that you have just a bunch of more room, really.
Yeah.
So you can keep your projects nice and small. But one design note is I thought I would it'd be cool to add this little slant over here, but it doesn't stand up there. It actually stands up better flat like that. But of course you do have the tripod, and I do use it a lot, and it works pretty well. And of course the files will be up on Thingiverse, so you can modify it, add buttons here, and all sorts of things that you want to make it fit your project. Let's go ahead and turn it off now. I know you should never do that, but we got a show to
move on to. Yeah. Okay, very cool. Can't wait to
show us your shield, man. I want to see the shield.
Right, so this week's project is the shield. I think we showed this off about a couple months ago,
Last
we
year.
had to get some other projects in front of the pipeline there. So this is the companion to, of course, the wooden sword, the Link's wooden sword.
It actually works as a shield. You can actually
I know everybody's gonna say, "Oh, why didn't you make the Highland or the Master Sword?" We gotta be strategic in the way we do.
The Master Sword isn't made out of wood, is it?
Yeah, so
this is.
We're using bamboo filament here. So yeah, we gotta really be strategic in how we do all of the projects and what we're using, material, all that stuff. So I'll work on that later. Maybe add some LEDs and cool stuff like that. But
that'd be cool.
Main project that we're focusing on for this layer by layer is actually how to make the curvatures that we have on this. There's a couple of designs already on Thingiverse, but they're all flat. They don't, it's a little bit difficult to build or to figure out the steps to build out the curve on this.
I think they print it with the straight down and up. This is printed sort of tall.
There's no way that would work for that, which is probably why everybody wants a flat one.
I
but
suppose.
To be, it'd take a little bit to sort of bend with PLA if you put it in water or something like that. But I think it's a little bit better to just have it already curved out.
Alrighty, well with that said, let's go ahead and jump into the CAD. Pedro, you made this in Maya, or what's?
No, so I wanted to make this in Maya. The only thing that held us back is, the Boolean operations side of Maya are not that good.
Well, what are some benefits of Maya? What's
so
really cool
doing linear deformers on that is just a breeze. You can just see here, just add a simple little, lattice, and then do the deformer on that. You can just, make a flap like a bird. But of course, when it comes down to actually combining everything together, Maya just sort of can't handle any of that.
Can't do manifold designs sometimes. So okay. So
and then again, if people wanted a mod that you need Maya to actually do that. So went back into 123D and redesigned everything inside of there, which turned out to be a lot more better since it can actually handle the Boolean operations.
So tell me about the shapes. They're SVGs.
Yeah. So if let's take a look at a little walkthrough of some of the things that are included in there. The little flat parts for the little details, which are printed in NinjaFlex. If you don't want to spend, you need to mask out some of the
to
areas
paint
to
it?
paint everything.
Okay.
If you don't want to mask it out for a third and fourth time, you can just use a different type of either Ninja Flex or PLA and sort of bend it on top of there.
Maybe heat it with a heat gun and bend it.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So you get access to all the SVG files that I use to do all of my extrudes. Of course, you get the 2 halves that you'll need almost about a 300 millimeter bed.
Okay, so
to
really
print
big
the
bed.
2 heads out, or the 2 halves out there, and of course the full one. If you have an even bigger printer, or you want to chop it up into different sizes depending on your printer.
Sure.
Of course, the handle is supplied there separately because I know everybody's going to say, oh, you should have a leather strap on there. Well,
Oh, that would be cool.
you can go in there and add that on there, yeah. So you can move that around. And here are the 2 pieces, and you can see the curvature on there. So the way that we built this is that you can sort of visualize it by when I go to the top view there. It's just a ginormous circle that's being cut out. As you can see here, it's pretty massive. The diameter of that is like 59 for that, so it's pretty big.
Okay.
So all we did there is just make a cylinder and then subtract from the actual shape. So what I'm actually going to do now is just show you from the beginning, once you import your SVGs, how to go about doing that.
It comes in flat.
Yeah, so it just comes in flat, and you want to extrude that out enough so that the shape you're going to use to cut out it encompasses the whole shape.
Okay,
So just move that over there, and as you can see, it sort of comes out a little bit. So you want to extrude that a little bit more, just so you have more material to work with. Yeah.
Okay.
And after that, you'll just extrude the long cylinder, and right away you can see, boom, right there is how you get that very awesome curvature.
Okay, so that's the
Very
curvature
nice,
of the
yeah.
back.
So to make the front curvature, we're just going to make a copy of that and use the cutout that you just made of that to perform the cutout for the front part of the shield. So we'll just go into our subtraction option there, select the back side first, and then just select the front side. And then boom, there you go. Very awesome, clean, solid, modeled. So, when you export this out, it looks, it's like a vector outlines. It's completely crisp. There's no sort of jagginess on there. The only downside to this is having to do all the details for this. You have to select each part of it, extrude it,
curvature, okay.
and then perform the curvature on there. I mean, it is a little time consuming, but because like you were saying before, you can just shift select all of those and perform it all at once. I tried that, a little bit too much for 123D to handle, but all of the, if you don't want to do any size changes to that, you can go ahead and just merge those together, chop those up how you want for your bed plate. And of course, if you want to make something curvy, you can take that simple trick, just use a cylinder to subtract from your shape to make it curved.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks could to use that technique to make maybe armor, some shoulder pads, or different types of wearable armor. Would be pretty cool. Okay, so that's up now on the Adafruit's
Yeah, it's been out there for a little bit. I think it's like our 6th most popular download. Pretty nice and big. If you check this out. Again, the only downside to the printing is I think it's like about 18 hours to print for each side. So it is going to take a little bit.
What about material-wise? How much support material, or not support material, but the infill?
Actual material. Oh, the infill, I think for this was only 6%.
Oh, wow.
It's
pretty
sort
light,
of keep
but
the
it's still
weight
nice
down, just because of how much, just how massive it is.
Right.
And then the support material, we use Simplified 3D to create the custom supports just on the overhangs for the handle. For the handle, yeah.
The handle's already merged into it, so if anyone's wondering, is it glued on there? No, it's
this is part of the design, yeah. So the full instructions are on learn.adafruit.com. You can see there, it's just skinny sticks that are holding it together. And to seal up the seam, you can use something like clay or the brand new moldable.
We haven't used this yet, folks, but we think it'll work. Plastic on plastic should work pretty well. Looks like rice.
So we're going to try this out to hide up all the seams. I left this the seam showing on this just to make it more portable, so we can, if we needed to, we could take this apart. So we can carry this a lot more easier.
Sure.
The dry clay worked okay. It didn't really want to stick to any of the plastic, so I had to use some sealant to sort of have it stick inside there.
That's what we had on hand, but you folks could use something else. Maybe
like Sugru might work too.
Yeah.
Definitely let us know what you guys use to hold and hide seals.
Sure,
and,
sure.
you can get the whole instructions there. For all the other things, like you're not going to really need support material for the front details here.
Yeah, the overhangs seem to come out okay.
Yeah, a little bit of overhangs like around the details
Yeah,
here.
you could sand it down and make it really nice if you spend an extra couple hours on it.
Yeah, and I also used some of the clay to actually fill in some of the holes that
cool.
came out in there.
Okay.
Due to the overhangs.
All right.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. Another difficult part is doing the masking for the for the taping.
Very
so,
time consuming, huh?
Yeah, that's where all the hard work is in that. The painting and then just making sure that it prints. It takes quite a while, night and day for that.
Yeah.
I think one of our Andrew Stout. Printing that out. Yeah.
Yeah, he printed it out.
Hopefully that comes out well.
Yeah. Okay, so this is pretty cool. You guys can check it out now. A couple of you folks have already downloaded it, and if you have made it, go ahead and post it up on on Thingiverse, and we'll share it with you guys here on the show. Very, very cool, Pedro. Thank you so much for putting that together.
All right, let's go ahead and jump to this week's 3D printing news.
Okay, let's do that. Well, we got an interesting new project. This is from Matthew Brigatti.
Yeah, this is a wearable LED glowing ring.
Yeah.
He calls them crystal knuckles.
Crystal knuckles. This is so cool. So it's a combination of 3D printing and sort of casting. So he actually made the positive or the negative of the crystals, inserted some silicone, and made a very nice translucent looking cast. So it looks so nice. It's a way to go if you want to make really nice diffusers. Definitely make a cast and think about silicone.
Yeah. So he mentions in the tutorial, this is a great way to get started with the Pro Trinket. You can see here, it's using a 100 milliamp LiPo power source, using 3 mini NeoPixel LEDs, and a power backpack to charge passively through USB.
Very cool.
All the components can fit in one single bed, and you don't need any support material to print all these guys out.
Okay. Very cool. I really like his circuit diagram that he put together. This is sort of a breakdown of all the parts, and then a nice little 3D looking circuit diagram with the wiring. Pretty simple, straightforward.
This is excellent.
Great project, yeah. It's a good wearable, cosplay-ish type project.
Yeah, very cool. Like the way all the snap together parts fit.
Shout out to you, sir. Thank you so much for this one. And you can, of course, check out the guide. It's on the Adafruit Learning System. And it is on Thingiverse, free to download, and I think they customize too.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Next up, we have a Psp Pi Station Portable.
Another Pocket Pi portable PSP. This is the project that just won't die. It keeps coming. It's so cool.
Everybody loves making these. This is
just
the
a fun
best way to
project.
get into this. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, so this
really
is from
cool.
Andrew Lindsay, who made this as a design challenge. He wanted a chance to learn more about using Raspberry Pi and having fun making a handheld, battery-powered gaming console with good ergonomics. So very cool here. The design fits nicely in his large hands, and he switched to using an analog joystick instead of the D-pad since he found it more comfortable than the membrane squishy buttons.
Okay.
The mechanical assembly is very simple. It's only 2 pieces, and all the electrical parts attached to the front half.
Okay, so this looks like it's a Raspberry Pi Model B. That's sort of the older one. We've got a LiPo battery, a nice big one in there. I think he's using the Power Boost 1000C, perhaps?
He has all of the build materials on
Okay.
the instructions on the Thingiverse.
What was interesting to me
page.
is how he got the screen to work. So is there any details on the screen?
Yeah, so he just soldered. It's a 7-inch screen that he got, I think, like on Amazon, and he just took it out of the enclosure and wired the composite cables to the back of the Raspberry
That's
Pi.
how it is. So the back of the because you see that the top, you still have access to the ports. Where's the top there? Somewhere up there. There it is. You get access to the audio in there. And so there's no audio in it, right? That's how you can save some room.
He saved some room by removing the internal speakers. He said that the amp was drawing too much current and the speakers were a little bit hard to fit. So he just forgoed that and just made it into a headphone-only
That's fine.
Pi.
So he's got a joystick as well, I noticed. A lot of folks like the joystick for ergonomics and its comfortability.
Yeah, and the illuminated push buttons also are pretty cool.
Yeah, he likes to prefer over the membrane clicky buttons. I actually used these buttons on an older project, the MIDI guitar, and I found them a little bit difficult to, especially when you're button mashing. there's a lot of pushback to it. So it's actually, if you want to work out your fingers, definitely check out those buttons. Yeah. They're nice to press, but they're a little bit harder to press than the arcade buttons or the tactile switch ones.
Yeah, so the case is nearly 240 millimeters wide. So you're going to need that, which is almost a little bit too big for his Delta printer there, having a circular bed. Okay. So he was able to he managed to fit all that in there, and unfortunately he does need a couple of support material some spots for the innards there. Okay. So pretty cool build. Definitely check this out if you're looking for a nice ergonomic PSP design.
Yeah, I think this is a good project just to sort of take a look at, and if you want to take away from it or remix it, it's just good to see how other people are doing it. Pretty cool.
Very awesome.
All right.
Next up, we have some more cosplay giant props. We have Thor's hammer.
Thor's hammer, entirely 3D printed, right?
Yeah, so this is a remix of Jacob on Thingiverse. Danny Griffin made this. Okay. The hammer's body and faceplates print without any support material, and it fits inside of something the size of a replicator build plate. So the rings are printed with rafts to ensure flatness, and you use silver Sharpie to color in the grooves of the rings.
These rings here? Or?
Yeah. Okay. So he used a strip of leather for the wrist strap on the end, and then he used a light metal pipe laying around to go into the center. The pipe runs the full length of the hammer, and he used sand actually to fill up the hammer in there to give it some weight.
Oh, okay.
So it ended up weighing about 10 pounds after he was done filling it with sand. This would make a pretty cool pool toy. You know, the ones you just throw in there in the pool that sinks at the bottom and you try to get it out.
That's pretty cool. Okay, well, this is cool. It's available on Thingiverse?
Available on Thingiverse, download, and somebody actually uploaded the little writing that's on the side there.
Right there, yeah.
They updated it to have the She-Thor on there. So that's pretty cool if you want to customize that.
Okay, cool. And this reminds me a lot of Richard's Thor hammer that comes on the show and tell. I think it's made out of some foam and stuff, but it's got sound and lights when you hit it. It bonks it.
Yeah, that'd be super cool to add. There's definitely enough room in there to add a bunch of electronics, but
very cool.
Very awesome.
Maybe download that on Thingiverse, so it's not so hard when it hits you in the head.
That's a good idea.
Okay. All right, cool. We'll check that one out.
All right, next up, portable Arduino Uno.
This is very, very nice. This is a really cool Arduino case. It has, of course, the option to put your breadboard in there. So Mr. Helder Santos, he wanted to be able to have his a whole Arduino lab in his pocket. So this is a really good case that has just about everything you need to have your little Arduino lab. So
we're also a little hinges
look really nice.
Case.
Look at the detail on the inside there. There's so much nice design into this one. Really simple looking,
beautiful
really
print.
Beautiful.
Yeah, when you go to the next hero shot there.
Okay.
And here's some cool little assembly sort of diagram.
Yeah, there's how the hinges
everything
work there.
fits. Yeah.
Very cool. Oh, so he's using the wire as the hinge piece. Okay, cool. All right, it just looks really nice.
And it looks like they're using the silver PLA. There's a beautiful print there. You can see all of the Z on that. It looks
It's a slam
good
print, yeah. Very, very cool. So if you guys want your own portable Arduino lab.
He also has 2 holes on the side, so you can make it into a wrist strap, sort of make it into a wearable.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Portable Uno.
Portable Uno.
Wearable.
I really like the bevel edges on this. They look really nice.
Yeah.
So shout out.
Check that out. It's on Thingiverse. You can get the download files for all of that. Very cool.
Okay, very cool.
Next up 3D printed carbon fiber based quadcopter.
Oh, okay. Let me get to that. I'm sorry.
So this was built by Jim on Thingiverse. He has an Instructable and a Wevolver instruction guide on this. This is based around the carbon fiber rods that you can see there for the arms. He has he's got some anti-vibration balls that were casted using a 3D printed mold, so that I can hold the flight controller all nicely in place there. You can see that. Very cool. And we got video of this very cool 3D printed quadcopter in action.
Let's pull that up here.
So very stable flyer, as you can see here. Looks like he's in a ginormous hangar there. Definitely attach a GoPro to that and
Yeah, I
get some
think
like
it
pretty
could
cool product shots.
Probably lift a
That's
couple
what he's doing.
pounds. Yeah. Very nice.
Very cool. You can get all the parts and the bill of materials on his Thingiverse page. Or I'm sorry, Instructables and Weave Oliver.
Right, right.
Super cool.
I did see it on Thingiverse, no?
Oh, might be there too.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised.
We'll have the link for you guys, of course, in the description. But very cool. Thank you again for sharing this one on me. I think you tweeted it at me, so if you want to do that, you totally can. Okay.
Next up, we have James's
Update from James Burton.
Hulkbuster. He's got some shoulder-mounted cannons now.
Okay, so
Very
yeah,
cool.
last week he was test driving it out. Very, very cool to see him moving around in it. And then this week he's adding more details, this time to these shoulders, and adding some guns. Oh yeah, so these things pop out. They're using sort of these little hinges that just sort of squish together and compress together to make it open and close. So in this update, he's using
Servos or
motors. Motors and servos and Arduino microcontroller to make it work. So he's using, in this example, he's using a DC motor, 3D printed the sort of coupler to hold it in place, but he ended up using a Metal Gear high torque micro servo, so they can obviously handle more torque. So here it is, sort of mounting it to the piece and using Ninja Flex. Yeah, so using Ninja Flex as a timing belt, or just as the belt itself.
Which is, again, how Fender drives actually got
That's what they
started
did, yeah.
before the 3D printers came along. They were a timing belt company, yeah.
For the actual gun itself, of course, is multiple parts. It looks like a kind of like a minigun,
Machine gun,
and the holes are recessed so they can fit NeoPix LEDs in them, and the tolerances are all nice out so that they can rotate. You can see that there's the servo horn there mounted to it, and it'll have the little bracket and coupler in there so that it can be all held together. Let's take a look at the prototype part. So here he is prototyping it on his breadboard. He also has a 3D printed mounting bracket for the Arduino. So when he fires off a switch, it activates the servo and then throws out the couple little beams of light at you. So it's really nice. And you got one for the left and one for the right. Pretty cool. You can of course change the colors and all sorts of different things. Adding sound effects to it will probably be next. So he went ahead and mounted it into place. He actually has the breadboard like right here in his tummy, just to kind of get it moving and testing. There he is firing off the Unibeam, and then here comes watch out.
That's so badass.
Pretty badass. It's really nice. I think he's running out of space. The
get to the
top
ceiling,
of the
yeah.
ceiling. And here's the next one. It just barely touches the steering,
Yeah, this is so
Super
freaking cool.
Yeah. Of course, you can follow James Burton on YouTube, and if you want to support his projects, you totally can by checking out his Patreon campaign. Definitely support him, and subscribe if you haven't already. Very, very cool stuff from James.
Every week, always.
Every week.
Always
Amazing
awesomeness.
stuff. Okay.
All right, next up we got another tricopter, actually,
This
time.
is the tricopter. Whoa, this thing looks really, really slick. So the other one was more about being stable, more FPV prone. This one is more about being agile, fast, and very speedy.
Yeah, so this was printed by May Forrest, inspired by a different type of tricopter. This was printed on his Mini Up. This is designed to be fast and agile. Really like the tricopters for like filming purposes because the props don't get in the way. They're a little bit more spread apart. And the agility of these are definitely the yaw rate of these. I think are a little bit more forgiving when you're trying to do like sort of a orbit around an object.
It's interesting that it's a quadcopter well, there's 4 propellers, 1, 2, 3, 4, but it still has that tri layout, I guess to say. So it's pretty interesting, pretty cool.
Yeah.
So this is available on Thingiverse, right? You can download it now.
Download that if you want to build your own.
I think instructions are available.
Next up, we have a printed architectural kit.
Okay, this was cool. This one came up early in the morning. This is a very cool sort of educational type kit. If you're an architecture student, or if you have kids that really like building houses, or if you're just a design enthusiast, this is a really cool kit. It's made up of a bunch of interlocking kind of components. They all fit together. So there's beams, there's columns, there's floors, stairs, roofs, walls, all sorts of cool stuff. There's 9 separate STL files. They all print without any support material, and they just look amazing here. They don't even look like it's 3D printed. So if you want to make a cool little, house for your cat or your bird or
if you have like a ginormous printer and you want to make like a life-sized one.
Yeah, there you go, man. Very cool. Look at that. It looks like a render.
It looks like the shader that they use on Thingiverse.
Yeah, so pretty cool. A couple folks have already made it, and of course it's free to download and print on your printer.
Very awesome.
Very cool.
Definitely check that out by designer T. Horsefall on Thingiverse.
All right.
Next up, we have a very awesome articulating Froggy.
Uh-oh.
Froggy doll by Louise Striggers.
Saying what's up. Yeah, so Louise Striggers, she is the creator of Arya the Dragon. A lot of you folks know about that one. It's a very, very cool model. On to another one. This is a frog, this time fully articulating. So he's got movable jointed fingers, movable eyes, and just a very overall cute looking design. Looking at you, buddy. Hey. So cool. So she is working on the assembly guide, and then when she's done with that, she will publish it so you folks can download it.
Yeah, it's very awesome. Looks like she's using the, not bungee, the...
From what it looks like, it does look like some sort of elastic string.
Yeah, elastic cords.
Maybe, yeah.
For the articulation there.
Reminds
very
me of the
awesome design.
Designs, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
she works in
big, too.
ZBrush, so very awesome little sculpting there in the face. Looks phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
I like it.
Very cool.
He's looking at you, kid.
Alrighty.
Definitely check that out when she releases that. Very awesome
We'll be
sort
sure
of
to share about it. Yeah.
little test for your printer there.
Okay.
Next up, we have a pretty cool Pi tablet.
Pi tablet, this is sort of like what you guys looked at in the prototype segment, but this is a much bigger one. How big is this one? Is it 7-inch, 10-inch?
Yeah, this is a 7-inch. So he wanted to make a little cool touchscreen tablet. It's battery powered, so you can take it around wherever you need. Has a cool glowing Raspberry Pi logo on the back, so you can show off your awesomeness. You've got the weatherproof LED light up buttons there.
Oh,
for
the
power.
metal button, yes. Very cool button.
It even has a cool little storage space for extra SD cards you can see back
right
there.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like he's using the older B,
Model
B.
older B. He took off the ports for that. He's using
a display driver here, I believe.
Yeah, he's using a 7-inch TFT LCD monitor and a Raspberry Pi B. Pretty cool. The cool thing is in there is that he added 3 little heat sinks.
To the Pi, yeah, they
get
pretty
hot.
They can get pretty hot.
I think we need to start adding those to our projects as well.
Yeah, I could totally use it in my Kippah project.
Yeah, but he has a whole full build of materials, all the instructions that you need on the Thingiverse page.
Okay.
Yeah. Go download that. It's a 3-piece design.
It's going to be a thing now, right? Making laptops out of your Raspberry Pi.
Mm-hmm.
No need to wait for some sort of Kickstarter or something. You can build yours right now.
Oh, yeah.
If you have a 3D printer, you get a screen and some parts, you can put together a laptop. DIY laptop, folks.
Very awesome.
Very cool, very cool.
Definitely check that out. Next up, very cool DNA lamp.
A DNA lamp. Okay.
So this was designed by engineer from Portugal, Algrave. This is Jaho. Sorry, I'm butchering your name. Duarte.
Yeah.
This is an amazing 3D printed lamp for just $30.
Let's check it out. Sorry about the a couple of problems with the thing.
Yeah, very
anyway,
awesome.
this
LED
is so
mode.
cool. I really like this.
It's printed with glow-in-the-dark filament.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, like you were saying, tell me a little bit about how you designed it.
Yeah, so this was designed inside of Tinkercad.
Yeah, he said he didn't know too much about CAD, so Tinkercad is a really good app to get started with if you're not too familiar with CAD. So he was able to knock this out in a couple hours. Of course, the whole lamp is 3D printed with the exception of the acrylic tube and the electronics. The actual helix here is printed in glow-in-the-dark PLA, so when the light turns off, it still looks like it's glowing, which is a really, really nice, cool effect. About 14 hours to print on a Persia i3 and a Lulzbot Tez 4. The electric motor is actually in the bottom of the base, hidden in there, and the LEDs are actually in the top and the bottom, using an electric motor inside of the base. And of course an Arduino to control the two, to make it rotate.
Very awesome.
Very cool. I think it's a really cool, artsy, simple project, but it really shows how just a couple really how you put it together and what you do with it. It makes
Inside
it really nice
Tinkercad,
effect.
you have a very cool duplication, special duplication option where it'll
you
start
can do-
duplicating with an offset, so it'll go, you know, in a spiral. Very cool
It's
way
also
to do
an
that.
already available design too, I think. It's nice to test too. The overhang on this is just crazy, right? So very, very cool work.
Next
Mr.
up,
Dante.
we have an automated print ejector.
Okay,
It's
so
a
this
punching
is
machine.
everybody
from-
remembers Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Yeah, so this is from Matter Hackers. Very cool.
Oh man.
Way
You got your
to
part,
get
you got your
part.
print that can't come off your bed, no problem. Just whack it with this. There you
So
go.
they have
bear.
the code to make all this work. Once your printer is finished with the part, they have it on their the page that we linked below, so you can build your own and have your finished print get popped off with the
It's pretty awesome.
or get punched off the build plate.
So of course you can 3D print this, and then when you're done with it, then you can put it together, punch it, prints. So that's
Yeah,
really
all the
cool.
code necessary is available.
It
on
would have
their
been nice to
page.
see like something break. Like it's hitting it pretty hard. The poor doggy over there got hit. He hit a couple statues. A bear. I think I saw a bear get hit. All right. Well, very cool work, Matter Hackers. Definitely a cool project. Very useful.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Let me check that out. And that's going to do it for this week's news. A lot of cool items there. You can definitely check out the blog if you want to get any of the STL files and links for that. It's also in the description of this video.
Oh yeah.
Blog post.
And if you have any parts that you want to pick up, be sure to do it now, as you can get 10% off discount on a Raspberry Pi, maybe some motors or Arduinos, LEDs, anything that you want to make your project come alive.
That's right. Coupon
Cool.
code expires at 11:59 tonight. Sure to not pay full price to bring your project to life.
Okay, now we're going to switch gears, guys. We're going to take a look at
Shop talk.
Shop Talk. And to join us this week with Shop Talk, we got Brooke Drum.
So earlier late last
Brooke.
week, Brooke released a video on entitled
Before you buy a printer bot, what do you need to know? So he's really just sort of
bringing it
down, being very brutally honest and saying, you know what, 3D printing is not all that easy. It's not really plug and play. It's more like plug, get to work, mess with it, configure it, you know.
And then
And
maybe,
then you can play.
maybe it'll play.
Yeah. So
nicely.
it's just a really nice breakdown of, hey, you know, if you're interested in the hobby or interested in
Be
trying it out,
forewarned that
yeah, be
there's going to be
forewarned.
like bolts you need to tighten, things you need to grease up.
Things might not go
There's a lot of
well
trials
all
and
the time.
tribulations that go along with the adventures in 3D printing.
Yeah, so
So,
the
really happy to
Printer
see him
Bot
go out and do
Plus
this.
just is in the shop now. It is what we are testing out now. We
Yeah,
got it over
get it
the
printed in
weekend,
the
a couple weeks
back.
ago actually now. So tell me a little bit about the experience, Pedro.
Yeah, so right out of the box, it was all packaged well. Phil B actually had got one delivered as well. He not so as lucky with the shipping. It looks like they kicked it around a little bit, but he was able to, you know, sort of fix it. It was just the X cartridge that was just a little, or carriage that was a little mangled up a little bit, but managed to fix that up.
Okay.
They discontinued the cold bed model, so you can only get one with a heated bed now, which includes this pretty cool or pretty big power supply here. You can see me holding it there. It's actually a spool holder. A little awkward in the way that the wires come out of each side. Really would have liked the wires to, you know, both of the wires come out of the back there. It's a little awkward when you need to set it up.
Okay.
But it also has like a high-pitched whining squeal that I'm not too happy with, especially since a
little
lot
bit
of the
louder.
things.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we print a lot more in PLA than we ever will in ABS or
So
like
the
nylon
bed
or something.
maybe is the best or most used.
Yeah,
most
I mean,
of
I'm
the
sure it's
printers
going to come in handy when we need to,
Sure.
you know, when we need a heated bed.
Okay.
But for now, you know, it would have been nice to have a different sort of
Have the cold bed version as well.
yeah.
It's only $9.99. It's about $300 extra, right? With
Oh
the
yeah,
heated
for
bed.
the
So
heated bed. Yeah.
okay.
We continue there. So yeah, hooked it up, and right away, let's see.
Right away, you had some problems.
Yeah. So there were some problems with some X skipping.
Okay.
I looked up in the forums.
So
and
X
some of the
skipping is
people-
when you're printing a tall object and it just, for whatever reason, starts printing off
It goes off
Off of
center
the-
and
the
continues
print.
going. Yeah, so you're,
Okay.
say you're printing a cylinder, it'll look like this, somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. Okay.
So a lot of people in the forums are saying maybe the motor current. So using the M909 command to check the current of that. It looks like it was by default. It came at 65, whatever the values are for that. And so I cross-checked the cold plate, and the X motor on that one was 50. So I tried lowering the current to that, and I was still getting Z skips.
This is mostly software.
This is in software, yeah.
Okay.
The G code sending those commands over.
Alrighty.
So I had to raise it up to 55, and then it started printing better with
Okay.
those skips.
But as far as adjusting hardware, what's
Yeah, so
did you have to
with the
fix?
hardware, while we were trying to figure out the current for that, I noticed that the bed was a little bit not as smooth as
a little
the cold.
bit? It was pretty tight.
Very noticeable, yeah.
Yeah.
It felt like it was too tight. So when you try to push the bed, there was considerable like friction when trying
yeah.
to push it. So in the forums, they were also saying, oh, maybe the timing belt is too tight on there, and then also check the pulley gear
timing
teeth.
pulley?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it turns out that some of the screws were loose on the gear teeth, so I had to tighten those up, and then I had to loosen up the timing belt just a little bit.
Okay.
That made it feel a little bit more smoother, but not as smooth as the cold bed one.
Okay, so it's still a little bit
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, but at least I wasn't getting the skips. And the bottom plate there, I have a feeling I might have to jump back in there, so I did not put that back on.
Okay, so there's a bottom plate there. It's powdered metal, pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Just take it out and leave it off.
Yeah, hopefully
So
it
tip?
gets more air there. Yeah,
Okay.
a little tip there. Just leave that off. I mean, you're going to lose your rubber feet, but
Oh, that's right.
you might need to slide it around like we do to get behind of it sometimes.
Okay.
So
Well-
after we fixed that, it was printing beautifully there.
Okay. So there it is printing.
Yeah, another thing though, if you pause there, as you can see
Oh,
right on the
right
bed,
here. Nice little
the
scratch.
first print that I kicked off, when you're trying to level the Z probe, I didn't know that it came out of the factory, it came with a Z offset already on it.
Okay.
So when it's probing, it's like about 1 millimeter up in the air. That got me a little scared, so I physically adjusted the probe without checking the Z offset that they have already put in there. Definitely should have checked that because it dove right into the bed.
Yeah.
With the cold plate version, that they didn't do that, so I thought physically adjust the Z probe and
Oh, I got this. No worry, I got this. I know how to adjust it.
And luckily, I had my hand on the power button, which you should always do, on your very first print when you
DC
get in your
probes,
printer.
yeah, you might want to.
You want to make sure that you can quickly turn that off.
Yeah.
But
Because telling it to turn off through the software is just too slow.
Oh,
it
yeah.
has to finish homing. So okay.
So
it's
yeah,
printing.
I put the Z offsets that they had on there, which is like -1.4.
Yeah.
I ended up taking the Capcom tape off because it was already ripped off, and we weren't printing anything that required a heated bed. So just that.
And if that wasn't enough, Pedro.
So then
what
after that,
happened here?
I had some successful prints, and then next print I was trying to kick off, homing the Z. I went over to the corners. It started going down, like not even touching the bed, lifted up, and it thought that was the Z. So I was like, okay, let me
home again.
Let me home again, and went down a little bit, and then went up even higher. Did it
Whoa.
again, and it just kept going up.
Incrementally going up higher.
Yeah, I went into Repetier and thought maybe Astroprint was the problem and tried homing it.
They're
and
just
it
rebels.
Kept
They're
going
just-
up. Yeah.
The Printerbot's going to do its own thing. It's a
So,
rebel.
So some people were saying, oh, maybe there's a shortage in the Z probe cable. So I took some of the sheathing that they have off there, and just looking, just trying to feel around in the cable, it snapped.
Whoa.
Z probe cable snapped in
So
two.
that's what this is right here, the little white connector.
Yeah, it turns out that they're just using 2 female connectors with pins inside to turn one of them into a male to connect these together, and the pins just flew off of that.
Okay.
So I had to cut the cord on there, attach some jumper cables, so you
Oh.
can easily just plug it in there.
So you soldered some jumper cables there?
Soldered some jumper
Okay.
cables onto the other end.
Simple
and
enough
then
if you're
just plug it
comfortable
in.
with the soldering iron. Okay.
Yeah, I have a feeling that if I need to
What?
go back in there with a Z-Probe, I can easily just
Okay.
take
it
those
apart.
off, take the jumper cables off
All
and
right, well,
replace it
that's-
if I ever need to.
Okay, that's a nice little tip there.
But
And how is
but
it
it
now,
still
then?
but
Yeah.
it still kept happening. So what I had to do was I had to go into my G code and add a G30 command before the G29 command.
Oh,
Or
so
no, I'm
it
sorry,
was-
after the G29 command, so that it'll force the probe to go all the way down and actually check instead of just continually keep rising.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That seemed to have fixed it. I had to throw away all of my old G code files and regenerate everything,
Sure.
but that seemed to have fixed it. It's you can see it back there. It's printing pretty nice now.
Sure, we can jump over to the next segment during Shop Talk. It's AstroPrint, but this is live printing right now. It's at 90%, layer 61. Time remaining isn't coming up, but that's all right. Pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool. So AstroPrint just recently had an update to 0.8, version
Oh, yeah.
0.8, and it adds support for a Pi camera.
That's right. We're going to talk about that in a second here. I have a little video here that will show you guys just a little bit of the update. So, of course, we have a kit for you guys in the shop. We talked about it a couple weeks ago because everything you need, the Raspberry Pi B, and it's actually the Pi 2, sorry, the Wi-Fi dongle, a case, and of course a power cord for it. So if you already have Astrobox, you can go ahead and go to your settings icon, click on software, and update it that way. So it's got a nice built-in updater, which is really, really convenient. Of course, this is the latest version is 0.8. And just a couple of UI changes. There is a nice menu now that you can, hopefully I can get to. There it is. There's the menu that you can access now. You have a bottom tray menu that's really, really nice. You don't have to go to the side panel anymore. You get all the stuff that you're used for. Oh man, this is a tough one,
The
folks.
UI update is very welcome for mobile use too, so
Okay.
you don't have to open up that side panel anymore. You just quickly go down to the bottom there and get to your
I
files.
wanted to say though that the side panel, this is where you can sign into AstroPrint. Why would you want an account with AstroPrint? Well, it's because it gives you the ability to check your stuff when you're not on the Wi-Fi network. Right now it is an internal network, but because AstroPrint is hooked up to their cloud servers, you can access your stuff when you're away.
Yeah, you can
So
jump on a
it's
LTE and
secure
access
now.
it from anywhere.
It's secure now. There's security built in, so you have to, of course, sign in and verify that it's your machine. So there you go. My MakerBot is password protected now. I don't want anyone getting in there and printing guns or whatever. But again, it's in the software tab there. If you want to update that. So here's what it looks like in the actual dashboard of astroprint.com. It's free to get an account. So you can monitor, there's the monitor here, it loads all your devices. And again, this is through their cloud server, so I can come in here and check out the camera controls. I can see that it's printing right now. And if I dig into it, I can see it's going to pull all the info, what it's printing. I can click on the little camera icon there to get a little photo of the camera. So you were saying Raspberry Pi is now
Raspberry Pi camera.
is now
Supported.
supported. Before it would only work with a USB camera, webcam, but now you can use your Raspberry Pi camera. There's a little, it's still a little
Still a
something
work
you
in
have to-
progress.
Sure, it's still a work in progress. This is the first version of implementing it. But if you check out AstroPrint's forums, a user here, William Randall, figured out a way how to get it to work. So if it's not working out of the box, you do have to do a simple sudo command to get the mod probe working, and then just restarting the Astrobox. And of course, if you don't have it already, go to your Raspberry config, and then just enable the camera that way, so you can make sure that it's enabled in that menu. Okay, so it's running pretty well so far. There's no bugs yet, but of
Do
course,
cool little time lapses.
you can do time lapses, of course, and download them. All the stuff is saved on their server, but you can, of course, download it as well. I definitely recommend checking out the AstroPrint forum. If you have any
active.
issues, if you have any updates, they need to hear from you guys. So there's a very nice active community. All the developers are always responsive, very responsive within hours of posting. They're always looking for you guys to help and improve the system. So there it is. They got a really nice system too. The forum is super easy to post and sign in. A lot of different topics going on here. If I'm going to just talk real quick about the camera. People, they're aware of, I want to have the camera always on, so they're working on that. They want a live feed, of course, we want that. Because right now, you can kind of only see it through astroprint.com, or if you're printing, we want to be able to see it all the time. Yeah. So they're working on that.
Of course, if you already have a Raspberry Pi, they have links there too to, or if you could get the GitHub too.
Yeah, I was going to talk about the GitHub. If you really want to contribute, and see what's going on, there's always, you can always check up on their GitHub page. Yeah. And you're telling me about the website. You can, of course, download a Raspberry Pi image and even a Arduino image. It is up to date. You can, of course, have to have your account logged in, but you can download it for free for the Raspberry Pi. So there you go. You don't actually have to buy anything from us. You can download it for free and get it going. It is, of course, a derivative, a fork of OctoPi. So it is open source. So if you want to pick it up though, it's definitely all easy to pick it up and get everything for you. If you still need the Pi, you can still save some monies. And of course, discount on top of a discount.
Kippah Pi
will get you 10% off your order. So
right.
Please do check that out. And that's going to be it for the shop talk. I think that's all the stuff.
Show we have for this week. Thank you everybody for watching.
Okay.
I have a couple cool links to leave you off with.
Sure.
As always, check out all of the guides, step-by-step walkthroughs, circuit diagrams on learn.adafruit.com. It's where a lot of the projects are released before the videos and all that stuff that we talk about.
Yeah, and there's of course a lot of other projects, wearable projects, more Arduino related projects, a lot of cool different stuff. So be sure to check that out. And if you want to showcase some of your work with the kind folks at Adafruit, you can do so every Wednesday. There's a show and tell. You can check out the Google Plus page for more details on that.
That's right. We're on there every week. Come say
hi.
hi.
And 3D Thursdays every Thursday. So we got a lot of blog posts for you. Everything we talked about is linked below and also on the blog.
As well as things that we didn't get to cover.
Of course. Okay.
Always check out the behind the scenes and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Thingiverse.
All right.
Always cool stuff up there.
Well, thank you folks for watching. Of course, we'll be here next week. We'll have some more interesting things, stories to share. But until then, remember to keep on making. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.